Hey, thanks for tuning in to another episode of American Garage TV. We're here again at Jim's Speed Shop, Lawrenceville, Georgia. Today, we're going to be reconstructing and rebuilding this NP203. Now, some of you out there may know that a lot of these parts are getting pretty scarce and hard to find, such as the chain, the intermediate shaft, the center shaft. A lot of these things we were able to acquire, such as this piece right here. This goes on the toward the output right before the part-time on your output shaft or your part-time conversion, which is this guy right here. We're going to discuss an issue with these transmissions when you incorporated the part-time conversion system, which evidently burned these things out, which is the case here. This was literally a pain in the butt to take apart, because all these bearings had gotten overheated, damaged, gulled, and locked itself together. So we've already tossed that. It's not, this is the new one. So let's get started. What I've got here basically is the range case, okay? And we've got our selector gear, our range selector gear right here. This is the larger gear, goes to the front. And you'll notice I made a couple of marks here for this slot. This is the shaft for that selector gear. So we're going to grab our new bearings and our assembly, and let me go over that with you. Okay, everything has been, except for this piece, so let's wipe this down. Everything's been thoroughly gone through, modified, and cleaned. We've had they don't repop these. This one here was the better one. The original one wasn't too shabby. So, and you'll see they'll give you an imprint. We're going to show you how this goes together. This is going to be the thicker of the two. Here we go. So you've got the 1/4 inch with the thinner wall. Okay? And these are in junction with these thinner ones. So the way that's going to work, and we've got some replacement shims. You'll notice there's a notch. We've got them cleaned up with some light steel wool. Started with, I think, a number 1 and went to a 00 afterward for the end. There's a notch in here, and that's where this is going to go. So these will go into place and be held such like that. Okay, you can have another one over here. We're going to assemble this right now for you, have everything all greased up, and we are going to use a transmission assembly red, which is specific for manual transmissions or just transmissions in general. Some people, you can use petroleum jelly. It's still a petroleum-based product, but that's a little lighter than this. We want this thing to stick like glue so it holds those bearings. 72 bearings, by the way, otherwise known as 72 virgins. Anyways, everything is brand new as far as the bearings are concerned, so let's go ahead and get started. So you're going to want to keep your paper towel next to you. All right. We'll fold this right here, move this aside. All right. So this is how this is going to get started. We're going to take this, lay this here. We're going to take our grease and go from the back end, and we're going to grease this really good and liberal. Again, this is what's going to hold your bearings together. This is actually the trick or the secret, so to speak, as to how we'll get this side later. I mean the face. This is how they get those bearings to hold in place. Okay? And if you want, you can dip them in here. That's fine. Just make sure when you're doing that, these are clean. Again, these are brand new. You're not contaminating anything. And you just take them one by one. See how they're just holding in place? And if they start sliding on you, just add a little more grease. This is going to get quite messy. If you want to use gloves, go right ahead. I just don't want any obstructions from the latex. So you're going to have one row of bearings. And they're otherwise known as needle bearings. See, they're all starting to slide. Why don't you get that all the way around? I might want to tilt this. Okay. Bring that up. This is tedious. Some applications will give you what's known as a cartridge. So it's kind of like loading a gun that has, that holds the bullets together. Get those out of the way. You take your thin one. Okay. And that goes there. That's the spacer. We're going to come around here. These are some extras. We can get this out of the way. Leave those right there. Got another spacer. And then another roll of bearings. So then we'll put that down like so. Alright, I think one's crossed here. It is. So we're going to correct that. Let's get that one out of the way. Like I said, this is going to be tedious. Just have some patience. You will get through this. Make sure they're all parallel and lined up, and you'll be fine. Got one more. Okay, that's in there. Get that to the bottom. Alright, look down that hole. Everything's good to go. Okay, here's row 2. Like I said, just make it liberal. Why don't you go ahead and pause that? Alright, that's our last bearing, followed by our spacer. And now we can come in here. Okay. So, when you're done, it should look like that. 3 rows at 24 each. Just make sure that you're not spacing. You're missing a bearing. Okay. Let's come over here. Because grease is your friend. Alright, so that's done. So now we're going to grease these in place. Okay. Get that surface greased. Get them greased and well oiled, basically. Okay, so we got that. This is what's going to hold all this together, like I said. Just a little film, because you've already greased the other one. Okay, so come up under here. I'll cross that over. Okay, give that a little more. All right. Like I said, it's going to be a little mess. Now, let's go ahead and pop our gear in and make sure this has a little bit of grease on it. Just wipe my hands, huh? Redundant. All right, let's take our gear. Before I put that in, I'm going to take some lubricant. All right. This is by Driven. It's a great, they make great products, oil. So we're just gonna spin that around. Just want to get a little oil on those gears. There we go. Now, this is our front of our case. So we're going to take the selector gear. You're going to slide this in place. Take your other finger and kind of hold that thrust washer. That needs to stay in place. Okay, there she goes. The bottom one, gonna make sure that stays in place too. For some reason it's feeling a little tight. Huh. I know why. I see it. Okay, let me get this out. All that is starting to fall out. Gravity has taken its toll. Okay, so we're going to turn this up this way. Okay. That's good. That's good. And let's do this again. Just don't push your thrust bearings out of the way, because they will move on you. Take your finger, kind of hold them in place. Remember, there's a notch, so and they are moving on us. Okay, we got that one in. Okay, so let's flip this around. Slide the other one into place. Need to have my Wheaties. One of our bearings slipped out, so, and there's our, okay. Probably need a pick at this point. There we go. For some reason that is extremely tight. We got to find that notch. That's the problem. All right. Go ahead and pause it. Fucker. Pause. Okay. So, basically, again, this is going to be kind of a pain. That slides in. Okay. Make sure you're lined up. You're probably going to take a mallet and tap that in. Now the only thing obstructing us is the bottom thrust washer, and we got to slide that and line that up in the notch on the case, and she's in, she's home. All right. So while we fight that to line up, and just keep in mind this could be it's a tight tolerance than normal, and it could be such the case. You know, for somebody out there that's doing this. Sometimes there's a little more tolerance, sometimes there is pretty much zero. But when it's all said and done, everything's lined up, all your bearings are lined up, nothing's missing, nothing's crossed. This gear should spin around freely. Okay? So we're going to take care of that. Why don't you take a quick break and go grab yourself a cold one. All right, so you're back. We've got this thing lined up finally. And again, we've got our marks. Actually need a heavier hammer. Nice and flush. There we are. And these are our clocking marks, so that's good. So now we can put the input gear in, and that's good to go. And there she is. She's turning. All right. It's just tight, and that's why I'll make sure all this stuff is oiled up real good. Awesome. Boy, that is tight. I mean, it's moving. It's not bad. But I mean, there is no play in this thing. All right, so time for the input shaft, which is going to be over here. I need 50 reps. There's our input shaft. And then it's going to be the same bearing. So this is going to slide right there, okay? And as that goes in, typically get a mallet. If you use metal, make sure you're tapping and going in evenly, as you should. Don't sit there and bang one in. You're gonna go cockeyed. All right, so then, so I'm looking at this gear here because we've already kind of pre-inspected him, and it's just showing a little bit of somewhere, but this particular gear we couldn't find. Nobody had it, so. Okay, this guy will come up from the bottom. Okay. Stay. She is in there. It just fell out, didn't it? Okay, we still have to lock and retain this. And there she goes. Good deal. Now, it's probably going to fall out again on us, because there's nothing really to hold at. So, what we're going to end up doing here is putting on the front. Yeah, I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Well, what's going to hold this in is a seal for now. So, it is not behaving. So, and I want to get this up out of my way. There, that'll go in so far. Ah, it went in that far. Okay. Clean our surface from any and all grease. All this is a clean prep spray, but it will remove all the grease. Oh, and by the way, we did take the liberty of ensuring that all our threads have been chased and cleaned out with a blowgun. So they're clean. There we go. Let's blow that off. All right, next we're going to take our gasket, which is over here, I believe. There she is. All right. We're going to use this Forma gasket spray. put a good healthy amount on there and allow it to set up and dry for gas off, so to speak, as they say, for about 5 minutes or so. Okay. Pull that up. If you want to use silicone, go ahead. Easier to apply the spray over silicone. Almost. One more coat. Oh, look at those pretty red fingernails. All right, just gonna hang that right there. And let that set up just for a few minutes. So we are going to get just this guy here. You'll notice this is a new seal, so we're gonna lubricate this. Just don't put it on dry. And this guy, they didn't knock it in. Thought that they had that good to go. All right, let's take a look at this. Yeah, there's no C-clip on this. This just gets tapped into place. I'm gonna need to get a race. Set that up right there. So let's go ahead and set this home. You'll notice there's a notch. That notch goes right there on that oil galley, okay? So that's on there. Set our screws aside. Again, we'll take our cleaner and just wipe the surface. All the old gasket material has long since been cleaned off or scraped off, so to speak. Alrighty. No, we're not here. Alright, I am going to, why don't you pause that for a minute? I'm going to go get my bearing race set so I can knock that in safely, okay? Be right back. Go. Again, be sure to line that hole up right there. And take our bolts. Why do I only have 3? Teflon. There it is, hiding on me. Because this goes through the case, you're going to want to Teflon these. And get rid of that little guy there. That's it. And we're going to have to get an Allen wrench for this. Okay. Should have also grabbed the tool, so I'm going to go ahead and get that. So, cut it. I'll be right back. We got those all greased up. Put this right here. I like doing things in a crisscross pattern. Not that it's probably going to matter too much here. And listen, if you leave that spray sealer too long to where it pretty much dries out, go ahead and hit it again with another coat, because you don't want to put it on dry. About 150 pounds each. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Just tighten up. These things are probably more like 25 pounds each, 20 pounds each. Just go over them again. Make sure they're all tight. Okay, that's done. So now that's just dangling there. As soon as I lift this up, okay. Fortunately, there's no C-clip that holds that in. So the only thing that's going to hold that in is this back here. So go ahead and turn everything. Everything's looking good. And make sure you lube your seal. Don't put it on dry. Okay, so this is pretty much done for now. We'll clean this when we're ready to put on the gasket. And I believe this guy, let's go ahead and show you that right now at this moment. Wow. Okay. That's good. Okay. You're going to have to make a little modification right here. I almost forgot to tell you. Okay, again, wipe the surface. Now we're not putting this on and mating them just yet. So keep that surface clean. Okay. Boom. All right, here it is. Right there. That's our gasket. And you'll notice there's a hole here, but there's nothing drilled and there's nothing here. Okay? So, we're going to take our punch into 3/8. We'll bring that over here. Line that up. That guy. And just pop that out. Just like that. Okay. That's good. If you had an edge, you can take the hammer method and just lightly tap and scroll that along, and that'll also cut it. But we don't have that. So we're going to take this and use our scissors. Try not to get a lot of grease on here. There she is. Yep, wrong way. Bam. And there's our missing hole. So we can throw this away. Oh, no. We're going to keep this because we have to later, you're going to see this is coming around. I have to fill this in. So we'll keep that material there. Almost forgot about that too. All right, so we'll go ahead and clean this surface here. We don't need it. I'll spin this around for you. I just love muscling this thing. So we're going to set this aside. Okay. Like that. See that? Now, same thing with our gasket. Should have sprayed this already. And you'll notice we got our case all, see, the first coat is going to basically absorb like a sponge. There you go. And again, we'll flip this around, do the other side, let that gas off. I like putting the backside from where it was originally punched, which is the opposite side. That's what I consider the top side. We put the backside against the case itself. Okay. And we are going to again let this sit for a second. We've already got our cover all nicely painted up, and we have got stainless flange bolts that are serrated on the inside so they're self-locking. So again, it's all cleaned up, ready to go. Let's make sure our surface is clean. You'll find yourself going through a lot of paper towels. See? Make sure your surfaces are clean. Alright, so you got that. We're going to go ahead and get our Teflon again. And while that's gassing off, we're going to start Tefloning our threads, because again, it goes right through the case. Just enough to work on the threads, don't glob it on. Okay, so you got that one. There's only 6 of these. If you've got somebody working with you, like an extra set of hands, that'd be great. They can be doing all this stuff while you're... Stay. There you go. Just hold it. Make sure this is clean as well. Okay. Yeah, it's all the same. Why that's like that, I don't know. I don't know. Why is that like that? Okay, that's the way it used to go. Fine. There you go. Now let's take these home. Look at how nice that's going to look. Started here. Alrighty. They're all good. They all went home. Okay, so we'll take this. Be careful when you're using a gun. I'm just driving these home. Sucks when you have greasy hands. You barely grip anything. Where's that screwdriver I had? Come on, get off of there. All right. Don't need to torque these down a lot. Just make sure they're good and snug. Again, not that it really matters, but I just torque in sequence, crisscross, by habit. Okay, that's done. Now I gotta flip this guy over this way. We've got this guy over here, our selector, and she is, where is she? Where is she? Where is she? Here she is. This whole thing goes in there. Like that. Okay, you see that? And as you're putting this in, spin it. There's an O-ring on that, okay? Let's get some lube in here as well. Wow, we're good. There she goes. Okay. And we'll position all this later. There is a cap here that we need to take off and put just a spring, which is this guy here. And what that's going to do is it's going to spring pressure against this selector arm. It's not the selector arm per se, but what it does is it helps to keep the tension here. See, I don't know if you can see that it's got teeth, so that way you can notch into your selection. This guy here is going to be over here, and this guy comes in like such, goes right through there, okay? And this guy actually comes down. Bring that up because that's locking. There we go. Okay. So that comes up, and here is our outer selector gear. You can see there's a little bit of some wear there, but we couldn't find one of these. So that's got wear on there. The other one's new, so I want to put the fresher side, and which is going to be most likely opposite, because this is what rode against here. I'm going to put this up instead. Okay, in fact, go ahead and this we got, it's original, it's used, but there's no wear. The original one was worn severely, which isn't a good thing. So and that's the thing, when they we'll discuss that in a minute, when they put on these part-time conversion kits, they gathered up a lot of heat. They didn't really get that out of the way. They didn't really keep cool and lubricated, because this thing here is a block opposed to the original. There's no bypass of oil over here on this guy here. And if you look real close, kind of hard to see, this is actually blued. Okay, that's how hot it got. Okay, so that'll go back there. Okay, and then I just need to make sure this goes all the way through, so it'll line up with our, there we go, with our input gear. And for some reason that doesn't want to line up. What is going on here? Yeah, it needs to pop in a bit more. I think it's bottoming out with this case here, and that shouldn't do that. Of course, some of these parts over the years, GM, Ford's done the same thing, even Chrysler. They've made revisions, design. That's why, just got to clean that again. That's why the gaskets are different. In fact, this piece here, on some applications, this is actually a two-piece. This is monolithic. That means this whole thing was machined, just as you're looking. But this inner shaft actually slides on like this over here, okay? This is toward the output side. That's on the lower part of the chain case. And then it clips in with a couple of C-clips to this gear right here. Okay, so you'll notice that's a little different. Okay, so I'm going to figure out what the heck is going on with this, because I'm bottomed out over here. I've got this out of the way, and for some reason that is not allowing me to move all the way inward so I can line up with that gear. That's crucial that it does that. So, yep. Probably gonna have to file that tip down right here. And I'll have to look for the old one if I have it, so I can see what the heck happened. But if you look over here, oh, here we go. That stops right there. Oh yeah, there we go. This is actually longer. This is supposed to be the piece for here. But this right here actually comes out about 1/8 of an inch too far in order to line up with this thing. So it's stopping there, which is the case. But then again, wait a minute, this thing doesn't go there, and that's why. So my bad. So I put that right there, get that thing up. Oh, there we go, that goes up there. Okay, okay, just for sake of confusion, I'll show you what's going on. Come in here. Okay, I was putting this in line, it's not. That's for this hook over here, okay, which we're going to get later. Okay, and that comes in like so, goes right through there like that, and then eventually this is going to hook on to a selector shaft, which escapes me at the moment. It's probably in the drawer back there, but that comes down through this hole here. So now you can see we're, let me get some oil around there, we're in there. Okay, so that's where we want to be. That's there, that's good. I just got to back that off, put the spring in, lock that down, and I'll re-clean this over here, and this front range case is done. It's ready to go. The next bit is going to be this. So let's start there. Get that over there. Okay, so this is our intermediate center counter shaft, and this right here will come down here, and that's what mates up in there. So that's why I put the one with the little slightly worn gears in here on the back side, because all these are new. Some of these were broke from the original, and they're bearings that go in there. Okay, so let's start putting this together, but first we need to get bearings in here. So let's go ahead and do that. These are going to be the smaller bearings. There's no spacers, no thrust washer or anything like that on these. Just pure needle bearings. And I forgot how many of these take, but there's going to be a few of them. And this is one of the things that burned up on the original, especially these same small needle bearings, which are right along here that you'll see later. And that's going to be the last tedious assortment of these needle bearings, to carefully, one by one, put into place. Coming around. So So far, so good. Ooh, I got 3 that time. There's 5. Okay, oh, 2 more. 1 and 2. Once you get them all in, they'll kind of hold themselves in, but you need to make sure that you've got grease. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and grease this a bit. I would have loved to gotten another selector gear, but I was lucky to get this far. Okay, so that guy goes there. All right, so now I take this gear over here. This is all cleaned, ready to go. Get a good amount of oil in there. Okay, and you can see on the back side, that selector gear will come up and come in contact with this gear. Okay. Watch your fingers. Boom. Okay. Now, I have a thick washer around here somewhere. Here's one of them. These were all chewed up to the point where they were gone, including this thrust washer. Just completely gone. And if you look around here, there is, where's the little ball notch? Hey, where's our ball notch? Right here? No. There's a little notch for that. That goes over there, and that's what kind of holds that. Well, that's for there, and that's what holds this inward together. And for some reason, it's not there. So now, okay, I got to start putting this guy together, because this guy is going to ride on a bearing right there like that. But then we've got our case that goes here, and you got to look on the other one and figure out where this notch goes. See that? Now, there is one where all the way around the perimeter is just opened. Right here. Open just like these are. This one was not open at all. I took the initiative to drill these holes out in order for oil to pass through. So this is our last and only large bearing, which is right here. I believe that's it. See that? And there is a, oh, I didn't get my snap ready. Okay, this is the new C. Let's get that off of there. There we go. So this guy, don't put him in dry. Get a little bit of assistance. Okay, get that around there. And that needs to fall in there. So we're going to take our retainer, get a larger one. You want to attack the outside, not the inside against the bearing. So that's how that's going to work. And then take our mallet, knock that in. Boom! That was easy. Then you're going to take your C-clip and you're going to put that sucker back in here, like that. Careful, watch your fingers. Okay, go home. Okay, actually, the way they machine this one should go in. Oh no, it's overlapping. This one is not going to work. Look at that, guys. So, well, good. Take it out. That one's no good. Okay, so here's another one. This is actually the original. Okay, so there you go. And not everything's going to be exact to original, but the bearing is what counts. Okay, and these bearings, when they design these things, they design them based on an existing bearing. So that's how that works. And this one happens to take this particular bearing with these dimensions. So, and this one is a pain to get in there. This is probably where it's going to require some help. Got to get that in there. And make sure I got some. Wow. Fortunately, there's nothing to compress this. I guess if you were to drill some holes and get a an inner C-clip tool, that would work. Okay. I'm gonna have to get genius here. Oh, what a pain. Woo. We got us a tough one here. So we've got our selector rod in. The longer side goes in to the arm on the inside of the case. The shorter one comes up here. And in order to get that in to slide in, you just want to push this shaft in inside. Just lift it up off the selector gear, give and push it in, and then you'll be able to slide that in and then put everything back. Okay? Now the next thing is going to be to take the spring. This is a new spring. Line that up with the tab on that arm, and then take this here along with some Teflon and lock her in. Right there around the edges. There we go. Yep. You don't want to put any grease back in. Now this one been sitting in there and it wasn't really clean. Okay, so now it is. Just push on that. Send her home. Ah, it slid in. Okay. Knew that was going to happen. No problem. And it's stuck. So when we push on that, this will push back in. So now, got to pop that out, come back here, and there's a slight gasket on it, just leave it alone. Push on this, get your thread started. Hey, quiet on the set! All right. There we go. That's it. And just tighten up. You don't have to torque the hell out of it. Okay, there's one thing we had missed. And right here on the input shaft, okay, there is another C-clip, one like this, that goes right down on top of the bearing right there, okay? So you got one on the outside, and then you're gonna have one right on top of the bearing in the center. So make sure that goes on. So we've got that done. This is pretty much ready to go, with the exception is we're trying to find our selector shaft here. Oh, and we inadvertently mixed up. These are the larger bearings, okay? So that's gonna lock straight down on that. We got this all oiled up, okay? There's another C-clip that goes right there. So we're gonna take this And we're going to pop that down in position. Okay, and then we've got another C-clip that goes here. That should be one. There we go. And let's spread this apart. Ow! Got my pinky. Gotta be careful here. This is much better. Okay. That's one. And we got one down here too. You know what? We might have a different one here. That one probably goes there. Okay, and I got one right there. So, yeah, that one's a little thinner. Okay, so let's get this off. Just a little thinner. Feels lighter too, so. And I don't like how this is angled right there. Okay, so it kind of makes it a little awkward with the tool. You could file that open if you want. Just make sure you file off the birds. See what's happening? Just kind of nuts. Okay, yeah, that should have its own C-clip, but the thing is it's not going to reach out here. So you know what? I might be mistaken on that. It's been a little while. Okay. I am going to take a little break and I'll be right back with you. So stay tuned. All right. Come around over here. This is where we're at. You got 1 and 2. Nothing over here. These are basically like tiny short roll pins that need to go in there. You could see that one right there got cut off. This one right here, this is intact. This is the one we were missing. Okay, so that goes over, okay, right there. And this little roll pin comes out here and locks this into place. This should not be free moving. So I'm going to have to contact our supplier. This actually went on the top. This is what burned out. And if you look here, along with this, remember I said the needle bearings all burned up? And then we lost a tooth or so? Where is it? Here we go. See how worn these are? Right there? Look at that. They're just basically worn. Not necessarily losing a tooth, but this is gone. So that goes there. Here is this guy right here. This is a replacement. Same as that, okay? This actually rides on top of there. And it has like a, kind of looks like a magnesium type of coating on it. But if you look here, the original one was brass, or brass inside. And look at that. This thing wore out, burned out, took this material and just melted it. Okay, that's our problem. So we got to stop here and connect with our supplier. Apparently we're missing a couple pieces. So the next step is to get that little roll pin in there, put this on, then this housing here, okay, we press that in. You've got the original inner C clamp that goes on top, and then this comes in, has a C clamp, and you've got that on top of there, okay? And then from there, we are going to, let's bring this piece over here. All right, I want you to look down the line here. See that? We've got a row, 3 rows of small bearings. We have this spacer right here. Let's get a little more grease on that, make that stick. That goes on the bottom. Okay, so we started on the bottom and we started a row of bearings. We took the spacer, pushed that in, started another row of bearings, Then we put this spacer on there. Then we flipped it over and we slid in the larger spacer. Okay, it's about like that. Yeah, you saw that earlier. Another row of bearings, followed by one more. Where's our other spacer? We got one other spacer here missing. Where'd she go? You lost it? No way.
We just had it.
You just had it. Yeah, you did. And we need to find that. Where did she go? She's not hiding. Anyways, this is going to slide over here. See, this is all falling apart. Got to be careful. When you're popping these bearings in, don't just push down hard on it and expect them to slide out of the way. They'll just pop out all over the place. Just get enough on there, and that goes in. Okay, keep in mind when you put this down, okay, this could come out on you, so you need to remember that as you're taking this off. So again, we've got another spacer up there, and let me show you how this works. So we'll take this over here. You got your spring retainer. It goes on. Your spring. Then this guy here. Let's get some grease on there. And do as much as we can. Line that up. Boom. Here we go. Make sure it's free. We've got a C-clip goes on here. We got our chain gear. And then we're going to have another C-clip. And then this whole assembly, now moving this around, all the bearings slid to the table. So, like I said, just keep that in mind so it doesn't fall apart on you. And unfortunately, I can't send this home and slide this whole assembly on here until I take care of those little mini roll pins. Now, I'm not 100% if for some reason they did away with that, because there are some slight variations. I don't see any reason why it would hurt without it, but I'm going to do a little bit of research. Like I said, just don't have dry metal against metal. So that guy goes there, we know that. All right. There's that. So we're going to check on that. So far, we are so good up to here. And then, this is our next. Let's go ahead and install the C-clip. Oh, come on. Come on. Okay, she's home. Now, we're going to take our chain gear, make sure we got a little bit of grease. Sorry about that noise in the background there. Okay, see, that guy goes on. And then we take our final C-clip, and this assembly is done. Okay. Okay, that's installed. So now we'll take this, make sure it's no debris in there, everything's cleaned. Okay, we're going to clean this surface. I'm going to use this and then just flip this upside down so you can see what's going on here. There you have it. Okay, so as soon as we find whatever Drew did with that spacer, what did happen to that spacer, Drew?
I don't know, we had it sitting right around here.
Yeah.
It didn't get moved.
It just disappeared. Ah, there she is. There she is. All right, so let's grease this up real good to help retain and hold. Okay, so that'll go in there. That's good. So again, this whole assembly is going to slide down on here. And then we've got some shims too, okay, to shim all this up. We'll go over all this other stuff, but it kind of sucks because, man, we're ready to move. We're coming along. So all this is working out. Everything's looking good. I am going to have to make a phone call about this first before we move on, because this is the next piece that goes on. And if you look at the other half, which is the chain case, you're going to know where this piece is positioned. And then we can lay down our gasket. And then we've got some wood shims over here. We'll show you. I wish they were shorter, because you're going to need to hover and hold this up so you can go ahead and hook this guy up. And then once that's done, we'll come in here with the spray where the wood was and make sure that is good to go, and drop these two pieces together, mate them, and then we can put on the end housing, our conversion kit, and then we have one more selector here that's going to be in that case over there, and there's a pin that goes through here, which I do believe is sitting right here. There you go. We've got fresh roll pins if we need. And then we'll continue with this. Now, here, in case anybody is interested, we did find a new chain. Now, this was hard to, we had to wait until they manufactured them. And he didn't give me the manufacturer's part number, but after we got it, look what we have here. We have a part number, but it just says NP203 chain 2.5. This is a 2.5 wide, but it says BJ Soft Road, and soft is S-O-F-F. BJ Brian Johnson SHFF Road.com. So if anybody's interested, you can contact them to get yourself a new chain. Ours is probably still maybe intact. We decided, since we're rebuilding, why don't you show them the motor here again? This is our, what was it? I forgot what the name of that movie was.
Jeepers Creepers.
Yeah, Jeepers Creepers, that's right. And this is our 77 K10 4x step-side Chevy pickup. He's got a brand new Blueprint Racing 3 stroker, and he's got a 700 R4 transmission. Formerly it was a TH350. We pretty much have everything to go at that point. We just got to get this transfer case done. So, all right, let me show them one more thing. On this, okay, I'm going to show you something here. So let's take this guy right here. Let's bring him around over here. This is our part-time unit. Okay, I don't have the original, never did. This is the oil pump, okay? You can see there's a notch in there. This guy is going to come down and fit right there, okay? This is our drive gear, the ring gear for the Speedo. There's really only one way I think this thing goes on. I don't think it really, we'll try it both ways just to see. Nope. Yep, that's it. That recess goes right over that little lip right there. So that goes on, and then there's some shims. And then for this assembly, there is a 3-piece thrust bearing. So you've got the 2 outer washers and the needle bearing on the center, and that's going to go on the tip. You'll see that in a moment. This, to show you, rides in here. This is the pump. Come around over here. Okay, all our bearings, by the way, have been changed out. Okay, all these case bearings here, such as this one right here too. That's the new one. It's pre-greased, it's cleaned, it's painted, ready to go. And like I said, that gear, the skinnier one, the pump gear, actually assists to throw and pump your oil up there. But what we're going to do, and back up in here somewhere, we're going to take the lower part of the chain, and I want to show you something that we're going to incorporate on this build. This is a 12 volt. This isn't cheap. I think it was like 400 something bucks. And this is going to be continuous. And it's a specific Byerls. It's an oil pump. Okay? And it is a part number. Well, I'm giving away good information here, huh? Part number. Where the heck is the part number? Yeah. I just have a UPC code. But if you look this up, Summit Racing, here we go. OP111ERL. With Earls, racing products, everything ends in ERL. Okay, so when you look up Summit Racing, it's going to be start with EAR, then the part number OP as in Oscar, I don't know, Paul, 111ERL. And we're going to put this up under the body. We're going to pick up on the lower part of the case. We've got all kinds of different fittings that's going to pump the oil and cycle it up to the top, right back up in here, to ensure that our part-time unit gets efficiently oiled. Okay? So that's how that's going to work. And we've drilled holes here so the case will also help to transfer oil through and from the range case to the chain case. So we're going to pause it right here for now. We're going to make some phone calls and we're going to find out if we're missing something. Stay tuned. All right, so we're back at it again. We had to pause for a moment due to this slider gear. Here's the original. Maybe come in here. So most of you probably realize 203s are just a thing of the past. I don't know if you can see the impact. And if you spin it around, it's equally impact. Not as bad as this. This is a dinosaur. So we're going to file that over there. Okay, here's the replacement. And thank you, Zero Gear, if you're out there watching. I called all my four-wheel drive places, and he's the only one that had this. Okay? So we're going to get right back into this, pick up where we left off. But first off, wanted to share with you, this is a new shaft. You see these pins right here? Okay? I had to make those, and I basically made them out of the original smaller pins. Okay? And the way that works is, come around here. You're getting up on my personal space now, huh? Buddy? Okay, just a little bit of play. What I did is I chopped them, filed the burrs where I cut it, and I took some Loctite, hammered them in. You want these fixed. You don't want them spinning around. That's the lower one. Here's the smaller one. There you go. So, why don't you come around here? Let's get busy and finish this off. So we're going to set this aside. Here's our selector fork right here. Okay, so this guy comes in here like such, and we need to get that open. It's against the spring right now. That's all the way up. Almost. Boom. You hear that? You got to come in here and almost have enough room. Almost. So we need to drive that up just a little more. Probably have to unload the spring tension. Okay. Come on, buddy. Come on, you went in there. Oh, you're almost there. Almost there. Okay, let's see here. Try something here. Ooh. Yeah. Come on. I think we're going to have to get that spring out of there because this guy just doesn't want to go in. I can come up like this and put her on. Let's see if I can do it this way. Get in there. Now we're still hitting that right there. That's the problem. Still going to be in the way. I think last time when we took this out, it basically, up, is that it? Yeah. There we go. I think we got it. I didn't have the spring load against it, so now push that forward, get that down, move that, boom, we're back in, and then let's make sure this is in gear. Bam! Finally. Woo! Get a little bit of Earl on there. All right, so let's go back and get our piece here. All right, and our grease. Because grease is your friend. When it comes to bearings, yes, a thick grease is your friend. Okay. There's no thrush washer that goes between here. File that over there. Woo! 2 points. All right, so bearings. And these are all greased up as well. Boom. Boom, they're sticking all over my fingers. All right. Here. Come around over here at this angle. These are the larger ones. And then we're going to have another set of bearings like this on the output shaft. And we're done with bearings. Don't cry. Don't cry now. Jeez. Okay. Got one out of line here. Okay. There he is. Come on, baby. Come on. Oh, there's always another one. Okay, so that's done. All right. Okay, that's done. So we're going to take this, put a little bit on the gears here. Okay, we're going to drop this into place. Keep in mind you're meshing with that gear. Boom. She home. Okay, now let's move forward. We have our first washer. Okay. Thick washer, that is. Okay. All right, now for the cage. I made a little mark here for this, okay? And I'm right on it. It's very important when you're mating these things together. Okay? Right there. Okay? No sense in making a dot because you're going to cover up with your gasket. So let's get all this grease material off here first. All right. Just keep going until it's clean. Yeah, still a little dirty. Ooh, this stuff's potent.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Not getting high back there, are you?
Trying not to.
Getting paid and getting high. Woo, baby. All right. Now it's time for a C-clip. Okay. Right here. Some of these, you know, it's awkward when you're, you know, see that, how it points, it's at an angle.
Right.
What you can do is you can take this in a grinder, be careful, and shave a little bit of that off if you're having problems connecting to your tool. But this is a brand new tool. It's rigid, as you can see, so I can grip that and not have that problem. Just got to get the offset and be careful so it doesn't spring back at you or get your finger, you know.
Yeah.
Don't want that to happen. All right, so and make sure she snaps in place. Okay, so I'm gonna need to pull up on this a little bit like that and get this C-clip in. Send her home. Come on. Boom, you hear that?
Yep.
She's home. Okay. Now it's time for number 2. Now these are these were used parts, but they're replacement. They're good. I'm going to take the nicer end up and we're going to pop that on, okay? And then, because we're ahead of the game, okay, we have this thrust washer that melted in the last time. Okay, lube that up. Here's the next thing. Earlier we already showed you how to assemble this. Make sure all your space, especially the top spacer, is in so you can control the bearings from popping out when you slide this on. Put a little bit here, smear that around, and this whole assembly, just watch the bottom. So I think it's holding after sitting for a while. We just don't want the bottom falling out. Yes, indeed it is. So we're going to take this piece, this whole collage here, and gently with your finger on the top, holding in that place, and ever so slightly push her down and home. Voila! There you go. Now it's time for the chain case. Now we're starting to have fun. We're on the down low. Okay, so we got this all. We're going to double check this and watch our paint, because this stuff will strip paint. Just make sure this is all clean. All right, so the next piece is our chain case. You know, they're still making chains. I think I shared that with you before. So this is our new chain. The old ones can tend to stretch out, so don't reuse it. So we got our case over here. All right, and I'm gonna clean all this. Want to go ahead and put in our output bearing for our front wheel drive. So there. I must have my witches. There we go. Okay, so that was fun. Let's put this back. You know what? When I get to this, I've got a little discussion on what you need to do to that case. So we're going to clean this as well, all the way around here. Wow, that's pretty dirty. Excuse you. There we go. Okay, so that's clean. All right, so we got our gasket ready to go. Okay, you can see that like that. Goes there. Okay, that comes down. Line that up. I have to punch a hole on one of these. Okay, make sure it sits flush. Here's our shift rod, okay, for our selector gear. And the long side is on the inside. The little one is up here, just so you know. So we're going to take this off. Get our little cardboard here, our backing plate. And we're going to seal this up. Give it a couple of good coats. You'll see the first one will literally, and don't bend and kink this, but you see the first coat will literally suck it up like a sponge. Make sure there's no grease. Don't paint your nails. It's not that kind of show. Drew, step back, Drew. I don't want you sniffing this. Hey, man.
Yeah.
Nah, this isn't too bad. Not compared to that stuff there.
What is it? Paint prep?
That, yeah, Eastwood Paint Prep. There's another one by, I think it's Duplicolor. It's a Paint Prep. Boy, is that stuff volatile.
Yeah.
And it's really not a paint prep because it'll strip your paint off as well, or the, rather the, what do you call it? The primer.
Right.
So I like using that one. It's not as strong. I take it to the rag, and of course, when you spray it to the rag, you glide it over your area, your workspace. And then after that's done, you take your tack cloth and you let that glide, because if you push into it, you actually wipe off the residue on the tack cloth onto your work, and that's it.
Right.
So now we're gonna get a little coat right here, not as much as the other side. And I'll tell you why. Because we got to shim this up with some wood to separate them, keep them separated. Keep them separated. Okay. There we go. One more last good one here.
Just for good measure.
That's what they say. Okay. Just line everything up, all your bolt holes. Okay, when that's done, that's our punch. When we modified this. Okay, that's on. All right. We're clocked. Everything is good to go. That's our bypass port. And we are going to have more over here, but this is upside. Your oil exchange will be here. And of course, we modified and drilled more here to get more oil exchange. So now let's get, that's the cover. Ah, here she is. We're just rolling along here, aren't we? Okay, so we got an outer C-clip. That's not it. You know what? I ended up with some spares too, I believe. That's an inside. You see this? See how that is? That's an inside clip.
Right.
That is an external clip.
Because of the way the prongs point.
Yeah, because and the way it's devised there, so when you go to take it out, you can pop that out. So that goes there. This is going to set up like this. Okay, and then MC mallet. Don't just jam one side. Get this in here evenly. And I like to hit around the outside. You can take a little oil if you want on the surface. I don't want to damage the bearing, and I want that to go straight down unless you have a bearing driver. Okay? Almost play a song there, huh? Okay, so that's done. This is our mating surface right here. Okay? So we already got this supported. I'm going to take some wood. Okay? I'll have one here. And wish I could break this in two. Here, bite right here. Okay. Yeah, oh yeah. Let's see what I got over here. Nah. Okay. So we're going to come in from this angle. So we'll come over here like that. Okay, so as this flips over, Okay, this is actually, oh. Okay, that's our backside. Again, this is our mating surface, so we're going to get this lined up. There's our two that correspond there. So this guy is going to come down like this. See that? Now I'm going to have to get a ladder just to reach this damn thing. Okay. So you've got this right here. I think some of them didn't have this little splash shield here, but you're going to slide your chain on. We're going to lift this up, actually work the chain around the back side. Okay, so I need to get this in here first. Get in there. Having another one of those situations where we're almost there.
Yeah. Looks a little tricky.
I need to go in through the top. So let's just take this off, okay, because we got to work this around. All right. So get that like that. Okay, and then come back down. You can see that notch right there. See that notch? Right there?
Yeah.
That's
in the center
for this right here. It's a relief for that nut. Well, actually, that's the relief. That's the notch. Okay, so now let's bring this back up. Damn, be a lot easier if I wasn't 2 stories up. Okay, so this comes back like that. Okay, now keep in mind, what we're going to do here is we're going to connect the slider shaft, and then we have to take these out, but I got to spray more material in here. It's kind of enough right there, but I'm going to spray a little more. And then as this goes down, this chain's going to fit directly over the gear, because right now it's hovering about a ½ an inch. So expect that until this thing sits down. So here's our selector shaft right here. You'll notice there's a couple of notches here for what's known as the detent ball. You only need one. One of them's new, one of them's old. This right here is the pin. That's the old one. Here's the new one. There's the cap. So come over here, oil it up a bit. All you're going to do is bring this down, and she's going to face this way because the rod's coming in and going that way. Okay, so that comes down, and you can see if you come around here, the detent balls are facing the way they need to be, or I mean the detent slots for the ball, detent ball. So this guy comes down, okay, and you can see him down here. And as this comes down on it, move this over just a little bit so we can get that sent home. Once this is in place, then we can go ahead and position the way we need it. You know, of course, it's black as heck. It's so dark you can barely see anything. Okay, come out. And there we go. We are on there. So,
thank you.
And this particular stuff, just go at an angle. Come around. got a friend, I mean a good friend, by all means, use them. Okay? Alright. Actually, that's not doing too bad. Here's the tricky part. Okay. Stay. Let me get this back side here. Hold that up. Make sure we're still connected. We are. And then that goes home. Just like that.
Oh yeah.
And our selector is there. She's working. She's moving. Now we can get this up. See, now it's the opposite. Now our chain fell. Get that up like that. Spin this around. Just get that on the teeth. Come on. Like I said, it's nice to have a friend. Just squeeze it in like this because you want it against the teeth as you're spinning it around and working it, and I just dropped it. Here we go. Just lift it. So basically I just grabbed it up as high as possible, pinched it, lifted up. Okay? So that's in. Alright, I'm gonna wedge this right here just to hold it. And I'll do the same over here. If you're able to cut and modify these things before you put them in, more power to you. Okay, so here's the next piece. Keep in mind, you notice we didn't assemble this, like some of them. Just like this other upper chain tooth, or gear. This has 2 C-clips and it's got this large spline, just like that. This one is monolithic, okay? So this is gonna go forward. I mean, from this end, it's gonna come down, okay? And as this comes down, this is kind of a heavy piece. Don't pinch your fingers. Bring this down. As that happens, then you're gonna need to work the chain around. That's the fun part. Work that sucker around till you get it in there, okay? And while we're doing that, why don't you go grab a cool one, because we're gonna be here for a bit doing this.
All right, man. I'll see you in a minute.
You got it. So we got her. Okay. It's been a while, a number of years actually, but here's what I did, little trick. Popped out the bearing over here, the output bearing for the front wheel drive. Anyways, I was able to put this in as an angle. This is a brand new chain, so it's extremely tight, and you are going to need to grab a friend and to balance this, because this thing is heavy at this point. So we got the chain pre-oiled. We are going to get our cleaner, almost grabbed the sealant. We got a couple bolts holding this together right now. Okay, and double check. Yep, our shaft is connected. So now we're going to pop on the rear housing. Rear housing is all clean, and we've replaced our carriage, bearing carriage, okay? Very important. Don't forget to do that. So now we're going to grab that. Should have done this already. Yeah, if you got some help, you can start getting this stuff sprayed up and ready to go for you. You can use ATV, RTV sealant if you want. Just use like a black ultra or a blue if you want, or gray. Don't need to use orange just because you got it. Orange is for high heat. There's one specific for gear and oil. It's perfect. Okay, we're going to give one more coat here. You can see how it's soaked in. Follow that radius. Okay. Boom. Now there's this little notch here, but really doesn't matter. Just doesn't matter, because this guy here, okay, as that goes on, it's gonna go on like so. Okay, right about there. Okay, so I'll take this little guy right here. Come on, free yourself. And I'll put that right there. Yeah, there's no weep hole for oil or anything, so that doesn't matter. Our bearing is well greased. Okay, I'm gonna pop that on. Okay. Still gotta pop that on. I mean, push that to the front. Okay, that's done. And just so you know, let's see, I think we're going with, let's use the ones. Why not? So we're going to use 1 inch. These are stainless flange and they're serrated, self-locking.
Right.
So if you can see that. And a little bottle escapes me because it's hidden under there. Okay, so, and this is because you don't need to use Loctite. Use some Teflon. Just get that, here, I'll show you a little trick. Get that on there, kind of somewhat liberal. Get yourself another one, okay? And work that around. And turn this at the same time and make sure they're both greased all the way around.
That way it works it in the threads good.
Yes, it does, exactly. And it'll also seal up the threads from spewing oil and help lock it into place as it dries.
Right.
And if you're going to use a gun like this, like I'm doing, be careful, because I don't want to torque them. I'm going to finish it off by hand. So what do we got here? A total of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Shamil, Shamazu. Some of you out there might get that. Okay. Hit pause. Okay, now we go southpaw. Support it. And these things are maybe 15 foot-pounds. Just go snug. Stagger them if you want. Okay. This last one. And double check. Oop, I got one more. 1, 2. All right, so that's our bearing plate or bearing carrier, whatever you want to call it. All right, so that's done. Now let's get our shifter fork in. It's going to come up underneath. Our selector gear will come up. Okay, we're going to hold that up. And then we got to pop our pin in. Okay?
It's going to slide onto that rod.
Yeah. It sure is. See? And there's no detent ball in it just yet, so. Must be a pair on there. Okay. So I gotta hold that down. Just went past it. Okay, so now there's the hole. I got to get this up just a little more. Okay, where's our, this is going to be a little tight. There she is. Now that's got to come up a little more. That's got to come up a little more. How are we going to do that? I'm going to have to get a center punch and get that in there. Okay? Yes, I am. That is true. I'll be right back. Oh, hey. That's what we wanted. That's not a hammer. Okay, so let me back this out. This is a dead blow. Where's my, there she is.
Ah.
Okay. Okay, make sure that stays, okay? And then this guy goes. Hopefully that stays aligned. No, because she's starting to. Alright. Why does that seem like the wrong? Oh, it's just, oh, it's new. That's why. There's the old one. It just hasn't been broken in yet. Okay, let's see. I don't know where my roll pin punches are, but I need a bigger hammer. Yeah, it's starting to go in. This needs to be bigger. Okay, here we go. Go home. Come on. It's tight. Pity the fool that has to back this sucker out, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, fuck. Take my wrist out. I just need a heavier hammer. That's why. Almost 2070 hits later. Kidding me?
Like the SpongeBob commercial. 3 hours later.
Oh, a few hours later.
Right.
Okay. Damn.
Looks like she's almost through there.
Oh no, she doesn't have to go all the way through. She's through enough.
Oh, I got you.
She is through enough.
Just to hold her in place.
Damn Skippy, we're done. Okay, let's clean this off. Move forward. Okay. So now we move over here. Okay, so we've got a thrust bearing that goes on with the part-time system. That goes on there. And then that gets greased. And I'm going to work it in here. Basically tack this bearing for now. A little. I mean, don't forget, you're going to have transmission fluid. One of the other reasons, just to let you know why this thing burned up, is when they put this part-time unit on it, you're supposed to go to a lighter oil. Originally from the factory, I think they had a 75 W90, okay? And that's all fine, but once you put this in, you need to go down to like a 30 weight. And some people use an ATF transmission weight oil, you know, fluid.
Right.
We're just gonna stay with 30 weight, and then you're going to see in a moment, we're going to have that pump. Okay, so here is our output, our seal. As you can see here, see that? Now I can show you that trick. I'm going to hold this together. She's off. Make sure that hole's lined up. And don't hit your finger. You ain't gonna like that. Alright. So that's done. And then I had some scissors here, didn't I? Didn't I? Yeah, somebody took them. Okay, so we'll do that. And then just kind of finish this off over here.
There
we go. Now we have this void right here, so basically I got to create that. I'll take it from this material here. Okay? So, yeah. And I'll just take a pin. I'll do the same thing with the hammer, but I'll take a pin on the inside. On my marker. Either, and I just want to get the inside right now, either an X-Acto knife or a set of.
Here's a blade right here.
Yeah, that's an X-Acto without the handle. Cut on the outside of the line, otherwise she's going to be shy. I'll make another cut here. Okay. Put that back. It goes right there. Fits home like a glove. Get that lined up. And then like that. There you have it.
Heck yeah.
Okay, now do this side first. I'm not here. Oh, are they working back there? Starting to coagulate now. All right. There we go. Let me get this piece. Oh, and got a nice little stainless plug for our oil fill. It's gonna look and work out nicely. Okay, so that goes there. I'm just gonna spray a. Alrighty. So put all this aside. That. Okay. So now let's talk housing. Hey, quiet on the set! Okay, so we've made it this far. Okay, so now is the time for our part-time setup. The only thing I need to do is Loctite these down, and I can use my impact on this. Okay, so I'm going to, where are you? Clean these off. I think we had removed these when we were fighting to get that whole thing assembly off.
Yeah.
All right. Extremely oily. You want to keep your threads clean. If you got a wire wheel or something, great. Loctite is not going to stick on to grease. I'm sure most of you know that. I should surely hope so.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So that's done.
It'll really just gunk up the threads, won't it? If you don't.
Well, no, it's not going to stick or bond.
Gotcha.
Okay, now that's done. Here's a gun. Here's a 9/16. That is a 9/16. Right there. We have bearings that go in here, okay? And these bearings are these are going to be the last ones. They're going to be fun because they're way down in here.
The thick ones?
I don't think so. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we've got a few of them left here. I don't know, you might be right. The other one was the thicker ones, but let's see. We'll find out right now. See, you've got yeah, I don't think so. I think that's going to be, and that, you know what? Okay, that rides there. Yeah, that does go in bearings. See that recess right there? That lip goes there, but you got bearings there.
Right.
You definitely have bearings, and if I use these, I'll tell you right now, because you either have a space or you don't.
Right.
But I don't think we have enough of those small ones, so it's got to be these guys.
Right.
Because I don't remember, it's been a while since this thing was taken apart, and for all I know, they were just burned out. These shouldn't have been, though. Shouldn't have been this bad.
Yeah.
Okay, let me get some more of those. Yes, it's looking like these are the guys. And then once they're all in, you'll find out. Well, then they probably gave us a couple of spares. And again, having a little light would be nice. I don't have no light. Just let them slide into place. A little time consuming, huh?
Yeah, a little bit.
I gotta learn that stop frame action, huh?
What's that, where it speeds it up?
Yeah. As we're filming, we'll
Right.
speed it all up. I'm not a camera guy. I'm just the guy that bought it. All right. We're almost there.
Yeah, I knew it had that mode on it, but I just...
They're all in. They are the larger ones. And we got that all greased up. Now you're gonna take this whole assembly, come straight down. There you go. Nice. Okay. So this is our part-time unit. All right, this is not original. The original had a planetary housing, and you had like these 4 spider gears. And on that gear, that I'm not removing that, no way. On this gear, that's what rolled on the originals. That outer gear here is what's going to connect and engage this. So now we've got that all sealed. Let's see where this is the one with the ring, I believe. One of them has a ring, yeah. Okay, here's the other thing I wanted to mention. I told you I'd get to it. This cage bearing right here, okay? That's our new one. Now you're gonna wanna pop that out. You're gonna take a pick and take out, ours was all dried out and heated. This is a rubber ring, okay? A seal. That's gonna right past the bearing to help keep that oil from, what it's gonna do is help concentrate it to focus it coming out here for the pump,
Right.
the factory pump. Anyways, this is a pain to get out. Be careful, don't score your wall where the bearing surface is against. I used a tool like this. You don't want sharp edges. You got to be careful. Got to come down. Just bite it. At the same time, your focus is to come down and work your way around. Just go 180, okay? And then 90, and then 180, and then 90, until she falls out. Once she falls out, you'll start to press this in. And just get a bearing press, like a race press, or a race tool. That fits there. Now for some reason, just to let you know, one side didn't fit. It hit here. That side fits perfectly. Line that up. Get yourself some grease or like anti-seize and hit the surface. Drive that home. Before you drive it all the way home, get that O-ring in there, okay? Or that washer looking rubber, the seal, and then flip it over and hammer her home. Don't crush that. It just needs to come into contact and you're good. We've got our dowel pin in. We have this sealed, ready to go. So we're gonna come in now, and then we're gonna take some oil, some Earl, spin that around. It's always a good rule of thumb to have a little bit of lubricant or grease before the seal hits, okay? That's all, just like that. Don't want to put the seal or have this go on with the dry seal. That goes in like that and just falls into place. With that seal, There we go.
Oh, this part's coming off right here.
Yeah, I got to get that back in there. Okay.
That gasket's not lined up with the holes no more.
There we go. It's not pushing through all the way. And this guy, yeah, let's get that lined up. See if we can drive it home with the bolted in. Okay. Yeah, I need to get a little more of this. Alright, that's good. Drop this guy down. Actually, before we move, almost forgot, you've got your pump gear and you have your speedo gear. Almost forgot, very important, do not forget those. Okay? Got a little burr here, break off any burrs, make sure you get rid of them. And that's it. Oh wait, that goes on the... This we need to... Easier to do it this way. You know what, that needs to go on first. Yeah.
She got stuck up in there.
It slid over the last one. Guess the bearing was worn down. Okay. So there is our pump. Yeah. Yeah, we'll put this on first. All right, let's start this. Let's do this again. Now we take our housing. There we go.
Perfect.
Not quite till yet. Now let's see if we can get away with these. Oh, she's looking good, huh?
Oh yeah.
Again, I can't see anything. It's so dark. There we go. Okay. That should basically fit right over. So I'm going to see if this can help drive it home. Just fitting on there tight. Do not force it. You could crack your case, so just be gentle. And again, be careful using an impact. There she goes. All right, let's get the rest of our bolts going. We're gonna go with these 3/4. Or no, these are 1 inch, I think. Yeah, they are. Yeah, we'll stay with the ones. I gotta go get some more ones. All right. At this point, do you know how to do the speed frame?
Yeah.
shims here, but that's for something different. I don't think so. They do. I guess we can shim this out if we'd like, you know?
Right.
Why not? Okay, so that goes there. That's just going to hold that gear in place from sliding. Now, all right. So we needed to assist that in. We got that done. All our bolts are Teflon coated, and these stainless flange bolts look nice. Okay, so we put a little oil around in here to make contact with this. The only thing I'm going to need to do is get my where did it go? Where did it go? Did he pick him up? He did, huh? No, he didn't. Right here. Here's our gasket seal, okay? Use a little bit of this on the output housing. Okay. Just come around here. Brown. What can brown do for you, huh? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to do a little something here once this is on. We call this masting in veneering. I used to do general construction years ago. I just did this as a serious hobby. Now I make a living doing this. So masting is where you take and smear around the perimeter, okay, and then when it comes in contact, it'll come in contact with itself. Okay, so that's how that works. We're still going to Teflon the bolts. Just helps to lock it in, and also keeps I believe these as well go through the case. We don't want oil coming through or leaking through the bolts. Okay, I don't want to goop that on. This stuff is kind of a fast set. I can feel it right now. All right. You can use a brush if you want. That's done. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Our trans that way, that like this. Okay. That comes on. Let's see. That goes like so. Right there. I think I'm going to take that shim out. Nope, maybe I'm not. I'm going to leave that shim in there.
Heck yeah.
Why not? That's that. Alrighty, we're going to use some ones again. I hope I have enough. Boy, he's eating up all my hardware here. Or at least the 1 inch. Yep, there we go. We're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One to spare. And then the case are going to get the 1 1/4 inches. We're going to flip that over, do that.
PTFE again?
Yeah. This one just didn't come with a gasket. I've already double checked. It don't have the gasket. And I think we're going to need some more of these, like 3 more. So I got to go get some more. We still have that output seal for the forward shaft. Oh, this thing's looking nice.
Oh yeah.
See that, Drew, buddy?
It looks good. Looks real good.
Very nice, very nice, very nice. Okay. Last bolt. Okay, find the hole. Okay, there we go. Yeah, because this is our top. Okay, that's our breather. And now we are going to drive those in. Make sure you don't crush that O-ring. Make sure this thing stays stationary and doesn't fall off. Man, this is a big man pajama.
Here it is.
Okay, yeah, we are going to use ones on here. This is all cleaned up. Let's grease this a bit.
We're gonna have to double up on the Wheaties when we go to install this thing.
You got that right. Okay, this has got a steel gear. So it was never cleaned. Let's get this cleaned up here. We ain't putting no dirty parts on this thing.
She looks too pretty for that.
Oh yeah. I mean, hell to the no. Hell to the no. Oh, Nick's gonna cream in his pants when he sees this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, even more so when he's behind the wheel.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so let's get this right here. All right. Jeez. Get rid of all that grime from the years. Okay. Get some grease. Jim is not here. Watch, I'll bet you it's those lending people. Gotta put out a request and they haven't stopped. The tire on me. Hey! Hey! Hi! No, no, I'm actually filming right now. No problem. You got it. Thanks for the heads up. We don't have to get the fair lane tonight, so that is nice. Okay, so I'm gonna hit the threads a bit. Put that in there. Thing is awkward. Come on, get started. I'm in an awkward position here. Is that it?
That's for the sending unit.
That's the cable drive.
Ah.
Okay. For some reason, seems like it wants to go in. Finally, there you go. Yeah, don't cross thread this thing. Oh shit. Come on, I want a clean transmission.
Yeah, it seemed to went all the way around.
All right, hopefully that camera holds out because we are almost done. Okay, so now we'll tighten this up later. Just don't forget that goes that way, we just gotta flip this thing over and button up the case. And we're going to get a stainless plug here with the Allen tip. And then here is the last thing I was going to share with you. So, and like I said, we got that input seal to put on. Boom, right there. We just ran out of bolts and we're done. And then we've got ourselves a 1350 yoke. Alrighty. And that sucker's going to go on. We've got a new washer. We've got our nut. This is the Earl's oil pump that I told you about. It's going to have a keyed ignition, constant 12 volt. And we're going to come in at the lower part of the case, right about here. We're going to use the heavy grease as we slightly drill. Don't go follow through all the way because you're going to hit the gear here. All right, you don't want to do any damage, and you don't want any debris in here, so that grease is going to help to catch that. You could start with a pointed tip, a self-tapping drill, but follow up with a flathead, a regular drill, and then you're going to tap that. Same thing with the heavy grease. Then you're going to put your fitting on with your Teflon, and you're going to run it to the pump, mount this under the chassis somewhere, and that's going to come up. You can actually probably go in this case over here or right up at the top. I prefer on the metal case. Okay, and that's literally going to shotgun and keep this circulating. All right, and hell, if you want, we can probably go in the forward, the range case, because as that pulls and pumps, fills this up, all that's going to flow. And again, you want 30 weight. You don't want 75, 90, otherwise you'll burn her out again. Well, that concludes our build of our NP203. Hopefully you enjoyed watching. We surely appreciated you tuning in. Again, I'm Jim, your host. You're here at Jim's Speed Shop, and you're watching American Garage TV, and we'll see you on the next video. Be sure to like, subscribe, help us. We're almost, I think we're like about 847, 850. We're almost at that 1,000 YouTube algorithm. Help us reach that goal. Greatly appreciate it. Tell a friend. Hit the like button. And again, subscribe, the notification bell. And again, we'll see you on the